Impact Plus. Experience Impact Wrestling like never before.
And yes, here he comes. Yes, one of the two challengers, his chance to win the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Coming up next as Kaz makes his way here into the Impact Zone for the world's title match.
And here he is, and what an effort to get to this spot as Kaz able to make his way up through that steel asylum, the Terror Dome, and was rewarded with a championship bout. And think about this. You know that Joe's been thinking about nothing but Steiner and Angle, and vice versa. Now they've got to put Kaz into the equation.
And there you see the second challenger. Yes, it's Big Papa Pump. It's the genetic freak Scott Steiner, because along with Kaz, it's his chance as well to win this TNA World's Heavyweight title for the very first time.
He stands 6'2" and weighs in at 270 pounds. Scott Steiner was an amateur wrestler for the Michigan Wolverines, where he became a collegiate All-American. The Big Bad Booty Daddy has wrestled for every major professional wrestling organization during his 22-year career and has held dozens of championships during his legendary run. The Genetic Freak is a powerhouse in the ring and offers no apologies for his actions. Tonight, Scott Steiner will try and become TNA World Heavyweight Champion for the first time ever.
Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner makes his way into the Impact Zone. We are joined here at the broadcast table by noted MMA fighter, fought in the UFC, fought in Pride, TNA analyst Frank Trigg. Welcome to Sacrifice, Frank Trigg.
For just sitting here and finally getting that name of TNA analyst. I'm real happy on my third show. I finally get a name.
You're part of the family, Frank.
We know how tough it is, though, and we'll talk about it in a minute about Kurt Angle not being out here for you tonight.
Yes, we will get Frank Trigg's thoughts on Kurt Angle not being involved in this matchup as we see the walk from the locker room area. He's the defending TNA World Heavyweight Champion, the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe, on his way to defend the gold.
He stands 6'2" and weighs in at 280 pounds. The Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe, fulfilled his destiny last month at Lockdown when he defeated Kurt Angle in one of the most talked about matches of the year. Perhaps the greatest match in TNA history. Joe used his ground and pound and MMA style to punish Kurt Angle and capture his first ever heavyweight championship. Samoa Joe has vowed to sacrifice everything in order to keep his title around his waist. Nothing will stop him, and nobody will take away his gold.
Here they are. You saw them earlier, the extended family of the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, the Samoan submission machine himself, Samoa Joe. The Samoan dancers are in place as they welcome the champ into the Impact Zone. Here comes Samoa Joe. As TNA analyst as very pro Kurt Angle. At the same time, I'm curious if maybe you've had a change in thoughts when it comes to this man, Samoa Joe.
I wouldn't say a change in thoughts, but I am very impressed with his speed. His technical ability really amazed me. He's got a lot better technique-wise. Obviously, when Marcus Davis helped out quite a bit, but I'm still not convinced that he's going to be able to beat a complete Kurt Angle again if that match ever would have happened one more time.
Yes, Samoa Joe set to defend the gold. 2 challenges are in place. We're going to send it to the 6-sided ring. Our broadcast colleague Jeremy Borash for the official introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the TNA Heavyweight Championship of the World. When the bell rings, the man in charge, TNA official, Mr. Andrew Thomas. And now, ladies and gentlemen, live from Universal Studios, Orlando, Florida, it's time for your sacrifice main event of the evening. Introducing, first of all, he stands behind me, weighing in at 222 pounds, comes to us from Anaheim, California. He is challenger number 1. He is the KAZ Cass. And now introducing challenger number 2. He is accompanied to the ring tonight by P.D. Williams and Raka Khan. He comes to us from the great state of Michigan and weighs in at 270 pounds. This is Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing, standing in the corner to my left. He weighed in this morning at 280 pounds and comes to us from the Isle of Samoa. He is the current reigning and defending TNA Heavyweight Champion of the World, the Samoan Submission Machine, Samoa Joe.
Sacrifice main event, TNA World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Frank Trigg, I need to get your thoughts immediately on the injury situation involving one Kurt Angle. And I think earlier you used the word risk. You thought that the risk factor too high for Kurt Angle, that as well what his doctor ordered.
So one of the things that he and I always talked about is recovering from injuries, and if he's going to come out here with an injury like that where his neck is right now, trying to battle through it, it's just going to be worse. He'll be out for months, and he may lose again tonight. It's not worth to take a risk in his career for his longevity here at TNA, trying to be able to compete consistently over the next couple of months. He needs to take just a couple weeks off. He'll be a lot better for it.
Well, the power of Samoa Joe so evident there. The double clothesline move, then follows up in the corner. Duly effective right there. Caught Steiner with 2 shots, and there's one for Cass.
He really is amazing for the agility that he has for a big man. I know that's something that you commented on the last time that you saw him in a title match last month at Lockdown, Frank. I mean, you can't judge a book by his cover when it comes to the Samoan Submission Machine.
Look at his body. He doesn't look like a guy that you would think. Steiner looks like the faster, bigger, stronger, more technical guy, but he's not. Samoa Joe is just that kind of wrestler. I'm very impressed with him. He's a lot better than I gave him credit for when he battled Kurt Angle last month.
You see Cass reeling off that shot. Big one, caught Samoa Joe, but Joe able to turn it around. Fires Cass off, and then as Cass springs off the middle rope, Joe just walks away, and Cass catches nothing but canvas on the way down.
Well, he sets him up for it. I mean, he really does. He just makes you feel like you're going to get him, and then just casually walks away, and it plays in your mind that he has that much control over you during the match. But now look at him, grabbing that leg and pulling back on it.
Got torquing right there with that single leg crab. Let's talk about the situation that Cass is involved in here. Opportunity of a lifetime, no doubt, but at the same time, and what got to call a submission hold here as you see that armbar applied by Joe on Steiner.
He's got a reverse armbar. This is actually a great judo move. One of the moves I used to use when I competed in judo still. The problem with Cass, though, is we get back to him real quick, is that he wasn't prepared for this. He wasn't prepared to compete 2 times in one night. And with the commissioner threw it at him as he's already in the cage. It's impossible to be ready for this. Hopefully mentally he's prepped. Physically he's just not going to be there.
Joe working on the knees of Cass. First with the dragon screw leg whip, but then as he goes to the submission move, you see that Steiner from behind able to nail it. So I mean, it's a great opportunity for Cass, but at the same time, after competing in that grueling Terror Dome match, well, he's at a disadvantage here, but he does have that rush of adrenaline.
Now, gentlemen, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Steiner, if he's smart, is going to keep using Cass as advantage. Throw Cass Kaz the Joe's Wolves and let him come in as a little sheep and bang him out of the way.
Well, absolutely. You have to take advantage and try to stay out of it as much as you can to save your strength. Let the other two battle it and then take advantage of it. As you see, Samoa Joe just clotheslined Scott Steiner all the way out of the ring onto the floor.
Perfect follow-up move after the T-bone suplex by Joe, but the leg sweep by Kaz is able to take the champ down, and now he springs back. Oh no, Joe able to move out of the way once again. Gonna take Kaz up and just overpowered him right here.
1, 2, Kaz gets his shoulder up. You know, don't underestimate Kaz, but we remember those battles that he had with Christian Gage. Now he showed everybody how ready he was for this moment, and when you're that kind of an athlete, an opportunity can come your way, and if he can get it, he's gonna try to slip it in.
And think also of how Kaz really took Kurt Angle to the limit.
That's exactly right.
You know, if it was up to me, and the way that both these guys have competed before, Kaz is coming back after a second match, it would be 2 against 1. If I would try to form a relationship right now with Kaz to make every time that he's hurt, I'm going to hold Joe. It's going to be Joe versus the two of us the entire night. Let us battle for the heavyweight title later.
Well, how about Steiner turning around in a hurry? First he takes Joe, sends him into the guardrail, steel guardrail, then lays out Kaz with a big clothesline, and look out, now he's got Joe. Where's he going to take him?
Well, he goaded Kaz, and what a knife-edge shot to the chest of Samoa Joe, and you can see the confidence just brimming on Big Papa Pump, using that strength, and now look at that, he's gonna take him up, and oh, suplexed him over, and he landed on his head. Wicked shot to the head of Samoa Joe.
Wow, I don't know if I could be able to recover from that. I'm telling you, Joe's a big guy to get that kind of weight up there and have it all on top of his head like it did. I don't know if Joe's gonna get back into the ring.
What?
Super impressive move by Steiner, who's able to roll into that bottom rope and break the count, and then continue the battle out here. Now it's Kaz that goes into the steel guardrail. Steiner momentarily looks at Joe, but he sees that Joe's laid out, and now he turns his attention back to Kaz.
I can't take my eye off of Samoa Joe right here in front of us on the ramp as he's just holding the back of that head, and it was a sickly sight, Mike, when you saw how his head hit first. But Samoa Joe, we know that he's come back from unbelievable odds, but right now, Scott Steiner in total control, and you mentioned it earlier. How much does Kaz have in the tank after what it took? Wow, that strength.
Belly to belly, released overhead suplex by Steiner, now takes out Joe, sends Joe back out to the floor. Steiner with that incredible amateur background as well.
You know, Steiner, we're related by one degree of separation. My manager, Rico Ciparelli, 1 year Iowa had 9 guys in the finals with 9 champs. There's 10 weight classes. Steiner beat my manager, Rico Ciparelli, in the semifinals and stopped him from being 10 guys in the finals with 10 champs in the Big Ten. You know, Steiner obviously is a great athlete and very smart the way he's approaching this match, at least to this point.
Boy, he is. He's just taking control. Look at this. Right after Joe again goes off the ring apron and just applies that weight and that power and sends Joe back down, trying to hit his head into the mat any chance that he can. Scott Steiner right now just methodical in this, Mike.
I was going to say game plan, working to perfection for Big Papa Pump. He takes care of Samoa Joe, keeps him out of the picture, and now he can focus 100% on Kaz.
Kaz just, kind of, you mentioned it, Frank, just not able to get that strength up against these two big guys. It just took so much out of him there when he climbed up through the Terror Dome earlier.
Out. Big fall-away slam. Man.
He's, you know, not to mention, I'm just going to say he's a smaller guy than 3 guys. He's also one guy that worked so hard earlier tonight. You know, it's really a testament to how good Kaz is going to be. If he had time to rest, he's really taken to both these guys tremendously. But he just seems to be a half step behind everybody.
How about Joe? That was desperation save there. He was able to break that up because I think Kaz was going down. And Scott Steiner now does that belly to belly on Samoa Joe, and look at this. Oh,
wow!
Man, overhead.
Overhead and right on the head of Kaz.
You got that right.
Scott's gonna go back to the well and get on Joe!
And Joe again grabs the back of that head that he'd already damaged on the ramp earlier, Mike. Frank, I mean, Samoa Joe right now, you gotta wonder how bad the bell's run.
He's moving so slow. The first bang over here on the ramp. Now he's inside the ring, got hit again. He's having a hard time recovering. Hopefully he's got something a little bit left in the tank.
Steiner in total control. You talk about being in the driver's seat. Positions Kaz up on the top turnbuckle. Gonna go for the recliner here. He's gonna got that chin lock in place. Steiner recliner Steiner submission applied.
Oh, look at him apply the pressure, and you can see the pain in Joe's face. And you wonder through all this how much the Kevin Nash situation has taken effect of Joe, where he didn't come into this thing completely committed, Mike and Frank.
You know, really, here's the thing. Mentally is going to wear on you. You just beat a great guy in Kurt Angle. You're trying to maintain this title. All the pressure's on Samoa Joe to maintain and hold the title. You got a huge, strong guy like Big Papa Pump on your back right now. He sits in a little bit deeper. Samoa Joe's going to have to lose the title and submit.
Look at this Samoa Joe, though.
Wow.
What a display of strength as he's got Steiner on the shoulders of Cass. It's the drop kick, and Steiner goes back hard.
So Cass takes advantage of a situation right there. Well, you got him up on the shoulders. Why not try that missile drop kick? And he was on target with it, as we see all three men, the two challengers laid out. I think we're going to take another look.
Perfectly, as Joe able to get to his feet, and Kaz actually helped him out there. Takes a shot on Steiner, and it takes the weight off of his shoulders, and now, can Joe get back up? He's still reeling as Kaz and Steiner are trading off here.
Spin kick that time by Kaz. Follow-up move, springing off the middle rope, dropping the leg, right on the pin attempt, right on the cover, and no, two only before Steiner rolls the shoulder.
And I keep saying Cass needs to be a half step behind. I think I'd call myself a liar at this point. Because now Cass is caught up. He's a half step ahead of everybody else now.
Is it just the adrenaline, Frank, that takes over in a situation like that? You've been there so many times.
You get a shot to all of a sudden get the heavyweight title, and you've been sitting around all day waiting for this moment. All of a sudden you get it. Of course the adrenaline's going to take over.
Big suplex move there by Samoa Joe on Kaz. Now Steiner able to reverse, sends Joe into the corner, but Joe's prepared, Joe's ready. Joe just overpowered him.
I love when he does that. It's just such a display of strength, and it really does just send shockwaves through your mind.
Khan up on the apron. Keep your eyes on her. She's got referee Andrew.
Whoa, he's got the pipe.
Distracted. Scott Steiner, he's got that lead pipe. Look out. Oh! Suicide dive by Samoa Joe. Near 300 pounds flying through the ropes, and Steiner was there and caught him with the pipe.
Obviously, Raka Khan, Petey Williams able to get that pipe slid to him, and Samoa Joe took a wicked shot. But look at Kaz, he comes flying over the top and sends Big Papa Pump to the mat, but Joe still knocked out with that pipe shot, guys.
I've said it before in MMA, and I'm going to say it again tonight. Your corner is very important. Obviously, Scott Steiner's corner has helped him get through this match thus far.
Slingshot in, side roll pin. Here's two. Steiner gets that shoulder up again.
Kaz using that athletic ability to his benefit. Almost got the pin, guys. I mean, he just is really an amazing athlete. Look at him, just doesn't give up. Nice shoulder block in, and look at him come right over him with a DDT.
Outside in, DDT, follow pin,
and
at the same time, Don, you mentioned it earlier, Samoa Joe's TNA World Heavyweight Championship hanging in the balance here, and it could be a situation where Kaz maybe he beats Steiner, Steiner beats Kaz, and Joe can lose the title without even being involved.
Scott Steiner, though, prepared for that one as he's able to catch him in the gut when he came off the top rope.
The wisdom took over youth at that point.
Double underhook by Steiner. Kaz able to land on his feet.
The
shot that time with the boot. Explosive move.
Two. Oh, got the shoulder up just in time. I've noticed Joe finally able to turn over to his stomach as he's just look at his eyes. Look at his head. He's just in such pain trying to get himself up, and he realizes, look at Steiner holding on to referee Andrew Thomas there,
right,
using him as a shield.
Yeah, hooked by the shirt, and that enables Maple Leaf Muscle Petey Williams to come up, and Kaz gets crotched up on the top turnbuckle.
That's the experience edge of a Scott Steiner there, Frank.
Ref didn't see it. I didn't do it.
Steiner going to try and take advantage of this situation now. The weakened Kaz in trouble in the corner. Big Papa Pump follows up with a big right hand. Now Steiner going to try and go up and meet him, and does. And from the... Oh, wait a minute.
No, can he do it? Is he going to hit it? Oh, the Frankensteiner! Wow, here it is! This is his opportunity!
This is it, off the Frankensteiner. Scott Steiner pin.
1, 2, Joe
at the same time. Just barely.
I mean, that was a split second. Samoa Joe got in, and you can see Joe still hurting for that pipe shot to the left shoulder.
Samoa Joe's taking so much abuse in this match. They beat him up 3 times, dropped him his head 4 or 5 different times. Now he's getting whacked out by Steiner again. But yet he finds just enough sense to stop the match from being finished. He's so smart, he's so athletic. I'm more and more impressed by Samoa Joe. Oh!
That strength, that power, and that agility from a big man. And Kaz
by the defending champ. Snap slam on Steiner. Gonna go for the pin here. Gets two and go.
Oh, and Joe doesn't. You wonder how many of those he's got in him, where he can apply the pressure with the pain on that shoulder.
You get the belt on the line, you put that title on. Joe's been waiting for it forever. All of a sudden, now you got a shot to take it away from him. He's not going to give it up easily.
Here it is, rear naked choke applied by Samoa Joe. Got the Kakina clutch, but you got to keep your eyes on Kaz. Joe sidesteps, moves out of the way, and takes Kaz out with the kick.
Just how the ring awareness that Samoa Joe has there. Able to move out of the way and then just put Steiner's head into the turnbuckle.
He's such a young champion. He acts like he's had this for years. He's not getting out of the way. He's smart in everything that he does. And he never sacrifices his body unless he absolutely has to in any move or technique.
Steiner trying to suplex Joe out onto the floor. Joe hooked onto that top rope so that he couldn't do it. Now Steiner up on top. Joe fighting from the ring apron. Series of forearm shots. Here's Kaz. Drop kick takes Joe down. Oh, face first onto the apron.
Just when you forget about Kaz, he's right there. And he came in, and now look at Kaz. He's got Joe outside the ring. Now he's feeling it.
Kaz gonna try and follow up the situation. He heads up to the top. Kaz up on top. Steiner holding on for dear life. He's got the ropes hooked. Kaz gonna try and take him up. Can he overpower Steiner?
Oh man, he just didn't have the strength, and Steiner just used that muscle to muscle him down to the mat. 1, 2, oh man! I thought it was over.
When he's a smaller guy, you gotta outsmart a guy like Scott Steiner to be able to beat him. You're not gonna outsmart him doing things like that. Kaz sacrificed himself a little bit too much in that power position.
Boy, Scott Steiner almost became TNA World Heavyweight Champion right there with the pin. Kaz, a couple of shots to the side of the head. Gonna try and fight Steiner right back up on that top corner again. Gonna try and follow it up, and Steiner again tries to fight him off.
Well, Kaz realizes if he can just hit it, if he can nail it to one double, oh, the strength of Scott Steiner in play. He just flung him to the floor. But Joe, come up, and now he's got him up, and he hit it.
Muscle Buster on Scott Steiner?
Holy cow! What a display of strength. 1, 2, Joe's still champion.
I can't believe that. For him to pull off something like that, a guy like Scott Steiner. I am so amazed by Samoa Joe. I gotta tell you, I've been down on him for years. I watched him train in my gym in LA, and I said, this guy, he may pull himself into the number 2 ranked guy. He's never be the number 1 ranked guy, let alone the heavyweight champion. Now he's defending his title. Are you kidding me?
Timing was everything there, Mike. As he saw that opportunity, he had Scott Steiner sitting up on the turnbuckles after he flung Kaz down, and that agility where he hits the knee, and then he goes up there and gets him in the muscle buster, and that was it.
Frank Trigg does not impress easily, but we just heard him admit about how impressed he is about Samoa Joe as he retains the TNA World Heavyweight Championship.
We got to look at some replays of this great matchup if we can, and you got to give credit to Kaz. After here was the pipe shot by Scott Steiner, and that hurt the shoulder of Samoa Joe, but I talked about it earlier, the agility the Kaz showed, the heart, and there was the Frankensteiner by Scott Steiner.
And then Kaz comes into play. The drop kick takes Samoa Joe down to the floor. Samoa Joe able to come back in. Hit the muscle buster on Big Papa Pop. There's the follow cover. There's the ensuing 3 count. And yes, tonight here at Sacrifice, you see that Samoa Joe has done it. Samoa Joe has retained the gold. Samoa Joe wins the 3-way match over Scott Steiner, yes, and Kaz. And as a result, he is still the TNA World Champ. For Don West and Greg Trigg, I'm Mike Tenay. We'll see you this Thursday on Impact. We'll see you in June at Slammiversary.